Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel ServiceNow Universe. Hope you all are doing well. Today's topics are introduction to SAM Pro, that is software asset management professional, and next topic is why SAM Pro. We'll understand with an example why we need SAM Pro and what is the benefit of using SAM Pro on ServiceNow. Now let's go to developer side to see how we can activate the plugin. Log into developer.servicenow.com and then click on activate plugin and then search a software in the plugins list. Then you will see this activate all software management plugins, professional plugins. Then just click on this drop down and click on activate plugin with demo data. So with this you will get the demo data to play with. So make sure to click on this. Now let's go to Excel to understand why we need Sampro with an example here. Okay. Now this is very important. If we understand this, then we'll understand all the upcoming topics. Okay, like reconciliation, remediation, and all. So we'll discuss that in our upcoming videos. But this is very important. Okay. So please pay your attention here. Okay. So publisher will select as Adobe, for example, and the product will select as Photoshop. Okay. And ppn is the number, that is publisher part number, that is unique for publisher and product combination. Okay, like for Adobe and Photoshop we'll be having, for example, 1234, and for Adobe and for example if it is Acrobat, okay, then it will not be 1234 anytime, because this is unique for publisher and product combination. Okay, now it might be, for example, if we have here Microsoft and this is Excel. Okay, this might be 1234 again, this might be same because the product and publisher combination is different here. Okay, so now let me just remove this. So basically we can understand ppn like this is to identify the product and the publisher. Okay, now we'll say I have bought here 100 licenses. Okay, 100 licenses for Adobe Photoshop. Okay, with 1234 as the ppn. Now let's say unit cost is $10. Okay, now what should be the total cost? Obviously this is 100 into 10, that is $1000. Okay, now here comes we have unlicensed installs. Okay, we have bought 100 licenses, but actually we are using 110 licenses, for example. Okay, total licenses are in use are 110. So how many licenses are we are using without license? Those are 10. Okay, so we have bought 100 licenses, unit cost is 10, and total cost we are spending for Adobe Photoshop is $1000, and we are using 10 licenses. Okay, 10 users, for example, if it is a per user type of license, then 10 users are using this Adobe Photoshop without the license. Okay, unlicensed installs, we can say that. Okay, now the total licenses are in use are 110. Okay, license not in use, so not applicable here. We'll take that in our next example. Okay, okay, now let's see what is true up cost here. Okay, now we have 10 unlicensed installs here. The cost to buy these 10 unlicensed installs is the true up cost. Okay, now the unit cost is 10 and unlicensed installs are 10. To buy these 10 licenses we need to spend $100, so that is true up cost. Okay, now if we spend $100 to buy these 10 unlicensed installs, then we'll become compliant. Okay, this publisher Adobe with this Photoshop product will become compliant. It means we have bought 110 licenses. Okay, we have bought this 10 extra licenses. We have bought 110 licenses and we are using 110 licenses. Okay, we are not using more than that. Okay, so to be compliant, it is like I have bought 110 licenses. I should use either 110 or less licenses than that. Then I am compliant. Okay, so now we have true up cost here because I have not yet bought these 10 licenses. Okay, now over licensed amount, let's ignore that for now. We'll take it in a next example. Now publisher status. What is publisher status? Is not compliant, non-compliant. Okay, why? Because we have true up cost, that is 100. Okay, because we are using 10 unlicensed installs. Okay, to become compliant, true up cost should be 0 and unlicensed install should be 0. Okay, so here no comments, for example. Now we'll see next, to make this publisher and product combination compliant. Now what we should do is we can do two things. So one thing is we'll buy these 10 licenses, and the second thing is we will uninstall these 10 licenses. Okay, so let's go again here. So I'll take example Adobe and Photoshop, and 1234. Okay, and here we have bought purchase rights are, I'll say 110 now, because we are going to buy these 10 licenses, 10 extra licenses now. Okay, now the unit cost is 10, and the total cost now is 1100. Okay, these unlicensed install we have bought, that's why purchase rights are total, 110. Okay, unlicensed installs are 0, because the total license are in use are also 110, and we have bought also 110. Okay, now here again we'll ignore this unlicensed installs, and true up cost now is 0, because unlicensed installs are 0. Okay, and over licensed amount is not applicable here. Let me take that in next example. Now publisher status. Okay, publisher is compliant now, because the true up cost is 0. Okay, so true up cost is very, very important. So with this we can identify whether the publisher is compliant or not compliant. Okay, now compliant publisher status is compliant here. Now we'll add the comment how we made that compliant. We have purchased 10 extra licenses, purchased 10 extra licenses. Okay, which are used without license. Okay, so in your first example we have saw that we were using 10 unlicensed installs. In second example we have bought those 10 licenses and we became compliant. Okay, so this is first way to become compliant. Okay, and next we'll go and take one more example. Let me go here, Adobe, and then Photoshop. Now how to become compliant without buying them. Okay, 1 2 3 4. Now what I'll say 100 only. Okay, now unit cost is 10 and total cost is $1000. Now what I'll do is, instead of buying these 10 licenses, I will just uninstall them. Okay, if I uninstall them, then also I'll be having unlicensed installs as 0. Okay, and total license are in use are again 100. Okay, and now this is again not applicable, and true up cost now is 0, because we have bought 100 licenses and we are using 100 licenses. Okay, so true up cost is 0, and non-license over license installs, so again not applicable here, and the publisher status is again compliant. Okay, and what will be the comment now? We have uninstalled all the uh, products which are used without license. Okay, so let me just wrap this. Okay, now we have seen here example for the true up cost. First, we were non-compliant because we had $100 true up cost here. Then we purchased in the second example we purchased those 10 unlicensed installs. So total rights changed to 110 from 100, and then we became compliant. Okay, and in the third example, what we saw is we just uninstalled those unlicensed installs here, and then we became compliant. Okay, now let's consider one more scenario here. I'll say Adobe is the publisher, and I'll say Acrobat is our product, and I'll say 3456 is the PPN, for example, and total rights purchased are 100, unit cost is 10, total cost is again $1000. Okay, now unlicensed installs will not consider this. This is not applicable because we have considered that in our first three examples. Okay, now total licenses in use are 50, for example. Okay, now if total license are in use are 50, then obviously the license are not in use are 50, remaining 50. Total we have purchased 100, we are using 50, we are not using 50. Okay, so true up cost is not applicable, as unlicensed install is not applicable here. We have considered that in above examples. Now over licensed amount, so we are not using 50 licenses, then over licensed amount should be 50 into the unit cost, that is 10. 50 into 10 is 500. Okay, so 500 rupees we are spending extra money on this software Adobe Acrobat. We don't want that, because with 50 licenses also we are compliant. Okay, now the status of the publisher is compliant. Okay, but we are compliant here, but then also we are spending $500 extra money. Okay, so So doing these all calculations is called as reconciliation. So here we have done it manually. Okay, now here we got to know that we have 100 true up cost, and here we got to know that we have 500 over licensed amount. Okay, now we can just release these 50 licenses. Okay, and we can for Adobe Acrobat we can stay with 50 licenses. Okay, now what we can do in our next example here is Adobe Acrobat, and 3 4 5 6 is ppn, and total rights purchased were 100, but 50 are going waste, so that's why we'll release 50, and total license bought now are 50 only, and 10 is the unit cost, and total amount we are spending is 500. Okay, this is not applicable here. Total license are in use are 50, total license not in use are 0 now. Okay, we have bought 50 and used are 50, and this is not applicable, and to our licensed amount is 0 because license not in use are 0 now. Again we are compliant. Okay, but we have saved $500 here. Okay, for one product we have saved $500 with just example of $10 unit cost. Okay, so now we can imagine here comment will be released 50 unused licenses. Okay, so so here uh, we have saved $500, and here we have just got the true up cost of 100, and then we acted accordingly. If we need more licenses, then we have bought it. If we don't need more licenses, then we have uninstalled those licenses. Okay, so doing this all calculation is called reconciliation. We'll see that in our further videos. Okay, and now here we are doing that manually, but in the system will take care of this. Sampro will take care of this. That's why we need Sampro, which will take care of all the publishers, all the products of the publishers, and all publisher at once. So it will calculate the these all calculations it will do, and it will give us the true up cost, and it will give us the over licensed amount, and we'll get that in a nice dashboard. And looking at the dashboard data, we can then take the actions on each publisher or each product, we can say. Okay, so this is the use of Sampro. This will benefit us in this way. Now let's see what are the major tables involved in SAMPRO for these calculations. Okay. Now these tables are segregated in two parts. Okay. Now procurement, one is procurement data, and second one is installation data. So let me just add it here. Okay. One is procurement data, and one more is installation data. Installation data. Okay. Now let me just. Okay. Let me just hold it. Okay. Now, the procurement data here we can see this publisher Adobe is added to core company table. Okay, core company table, and there is one more table called software publisher. Software publisher table. Okay, so this is procurement data, right? So for which publisher and how many rights we have purchased. Okay, so this is nothing but the procurement data. Okay, this is purchase data, we can say. Okay, now we'll say this product information is also the procurement data. Okay, so here there are two tables. One is software product table, software product, and one more is there, that is custom software product. And we'll see in our upcoming videos how the data is getting populated in these tables. Okay, software product. Okay, now we have one. Next one is this ppn. So we have here software definition, we call that as software definition. Software definition and custom software definition table. Definition table. So this is all procurement data. Okay, and if we go here, next one is licenses bought, how many licenses we bought, and what is the unit cost. Okay, so this is all stored in software entitlements. Software entitlements. Okay, so this is software entitlements table. Now to create software entitlements we need software models. Okay, so software models is also the procurement data. Now what is software model? For example, in this software product I have just stored the name of the Photoshop, for the name of the product. For example, Adobe Photoshop is the name of the product. Okay, that's it, I have stored here. Now in the model, what I can store is the version, the different versions of Adobe Photoshop. Like for example, I have version v.1 version 1 and version 2 and version 3. Then three software models will be created for Adobe Photoshop in the software models, and three different entitlements will be created in the entitlements table. Okay, that's why we have software models as separate table and software product as separate table. Okay, we'll discuss this more in detail in our upcoming videos. Okay, so now this is all the procurement data. This is purchase data. While we are purchasing the software, we have to know this all data, and we are inputting in these tables. Okay, now what is the installation data? So if we go here next, total licenses in use. Okay, now how many licenses we are using? So that is installation data, right? That is coming from any third party tool, for example SCCM or BigFix, or it is from ServiceNow's discovery. Okay, ServiceNow discovery will run and it will find the it will find in the network, organizations network, that how many licenses we are using for Adobe Photoshop. That will be stored in the software installation table, software installations table. Okay, and the discovery models gets created for each software installation. Okay, we'll see what is for what we use discovery models in our upcoming videos. Okay, so now on installation side, we have this data, software installations, that is coming from either the third party tool, that is SCCM or BigFix, or from Excel sheet also we can import the data here in the installations, and or it is coming from the discovery of ServiceNow. Okay, now here we can see there is a link between the procurement data and the installation data. Okay, without the link between procurement and installation data, we will not be able to find out this true up cost, right? So here we can see this is software installation data, that is 110 licenses, and here this is procurement data, that is 100. Okay, that is purchase rates are 100. So now we should have some link between this 100 and 110, then only we'll be able to see there are 110 sorry 10 unlicensed installs and true up cost is 100, right? So there is one table for that, that is called discovery map. Okay, let me add discovery map. Okay, now this discovery map is the table that is the bridge between procurement and installation data. Okay, now when the reconciliation runs with this discovery map itself, it will fetch the procurement data, it will fetch the installation data, that will compare, and it will populate this table. Okay, there is a table for reconciliation as well, so we'll discuss that more in our upcoming videos. Okay, so this is how the data is segregated in the SAMPRO, procurement data and installation data, and that is linked with discovery map. Okay, so we'll see this more in detail in our upcoming videos. Hope this video is helpful. If this is helpful, then please like the video and share the video and add your valuable suggestions in the comment, and please subscribe the channel for more videos like this. Thank you.